The Ebony Fashion Fair was an annual fashion event that showed people across the United States top European designs with African American models. The Ebony Fashion Fair is one of the most remarkable and memorable events in Chicago's history. Not only did it help charities, which was the main purpose, but it helped integrate people of all different races into the world of fashion. The Ebony Fashion Fair started after Ebony magazine launched in 1945. It started and founded by John H. Johnson, whose approach and goal of Johnson Publishing Company was to show the power of journalism that would impact the African American society. Johnson was determined to get his company successful, so he began to think about publishing something that African Americans would read and enjoy. His first publication was Negro Digest. This was open to the black community and got popular soon. Because his first magazine became successful, John Johnson and his wife Eunice Johnson published a new magazine, Ebony, in 1945. It became a popular hit and even more than Negro Digest. It had different sections in the magazine that talk about the African American problems. In the 1900s, racial discrimination made most African Americans feel unworthy about themselves. Many white Americans had a deep hatred for God. Chicago was one of the most racist and separated cities. It had poor schools, low job opportunities for black citizens, bad housing, increasing violence and crime. Despite the fact that Chicago was a racist city, it was a spotlight for African Americans. It was the home of Congressman William L. Johnson, a powerful politician, and Joe Louis, a boxing champion. From 1940 to 1960, the black population increased from 278,000 to 813,000 people only in Chicago. With more people in the African American community, the more readers there were and the more Ebony got successful. Ebony just wasn't about the racial problems they had to face, but it talked about the accomplishments that blacks had. The purpose of the magazine was to embrace blackness and inspire African Americans to love themselves. Johnson Company soon added advertisement with black models to make a powerful statement. This was unexpected and rare, but Ebony made it happen. Usually in ads, white models would advertise the product, but Johnson Publishing Company took a step forward and made deals with these companies. The deal was to add black models in the advertisement in the magazine, and they'll buy them. Not only does this benefit the companies, but it also represents the power and beauty of African Americans. Fashion was also a way to lift the negative thoughts and change the way they see themselves, physically and mentally. That's when the idea of having a fashion fair began. Ebony magazine was a big hit since the beginning, and thoughts about a fashion show traveled through the Johnson's mind. In 1958, the first Ebony Fashion Fair took place. This was a way to earn money for black charities while giving the opportunities to blacks of fashion outside of America. Frida DeKnight was the first person to direct in the fashion fair. Before being part of the fashion show, she worked at the Johnson Publishing Company as a writer for the fashion and food section in Ebony magazine. She was able to write about the latest fashion, but also dishes African American like, called A Date with a Dish. But because she was so good in the fashion section, she followed her talent and became part of the fashion fair. She wasn't able to participate for a long time because unfortunately she died of cancer in 1963. So Eunice Walker Johnson, wife of John Johnson and co-founder of the Johnson Publishing Company, took place as a director. She was truly the one who changed the reputation of the black community. Eunice Walker Johnson was born in 1916 and grew up in an African American town in Selma, Alabama. As she grew older, she decided to graduate in Talladega College and continued her studies in Loyola University. But in the 1940s, she earned her master's degree in social work and married John H. Johnson. She worked with him into accomplishing his dream and made Johnson Publishing Company. They made big accomplishments with both magazines and fashion fair. But because the director died, she took place and became director. It was hard for her to get the show ready and organized because many designers denied her requests for clothes. When the Johnsons went to the trip to Europe, they begged for fashion pieces, but many thought the clothes and designs would look ugly and unattractive. Although it took a long time to accept, Eunice got the clothes to show. Over the years, she would go to fashion events in Paris, Milan, London, and New York to buy exclusive designs from the top designers. Yves Saint Laurent, Oscar de la Renta, Valentino, and Givenchy, they were all part of the amazing events. This was big, but it was just the beginning. Ebony Fashion Fair had everything a woman wanted. From dresses to jumpsuits, everything seemed perfect. Eunice Johnson wanted to give the unexpected to the crowd, knowing that they will appreciate it all. The crowd was never disappointed, and they even wanted more. Audrey Smaltz, the commentator, made the show even more interesting with the sassy voice she had when explaining the designers' clothes down the runway. It was the first runway show that used music and dance when the clothes walked on the runway floor. Black power was shown throughout the series of fashion events Ebony held. Every woman watching imagined themselves wearing the beautiful garments that were on the runway. Everyone asking the same question, would that look good on me? This showed how the power of fashion can really transform lives. In the 1940s, black women were not confident about themselves. But when Ebony Fashion Fair started, they all liked the fact that black models were wearing all these different types of clothes, with sequins, bold colors, and fragile detailing. In fact, Eunice made the darkest model to wear the clothes with extremely bold colors. Ebony Fashion Fair represented the power of beauty. Eunice liked black makeup artists, designers, and stylists to represent their art as well. Not many black artists are appreciated because of the fact that they were black. But Eunice has given the artists a chance and accepted their work. Designers like Patrick Kelly and B. Michael were black, and their artwork were featured in Ebony Fashion Fair. The black community had a better reputation, and Eunice had a deep respect with everyone in the fashion world. Overall, fashion was a power, and it changed the way people saw blacks and their culture.